the Shiloh Hendrix trial, or frankly the whole situation, just set a dangerous precedent as to a slippery slope America's heading down. And frankly, it's not going to be good for anyone, and it's going to get way, way worse. What's rockin' my rock and roll? Today's video is going to be a little discussion about the whole Shiloh Hendrix, trial fiasco. This won't be a review of the trial. The trial ended, I think, a couple days ago at the time of this recording. I decided to wait until maybe if little details came out, and I was busy over the weekend, but making the video now, that's all that matters. So, yeah, so as the title said, so let's just start here. So for those of you who don't know the whole Shiloh Hendrix fiasco, so she's a mom in, where is it? Rochester, Minnesota? Yeah, in Minnesota. And this was, when did it go viral? Last year? Yeah, it was around, it was the fall of 2025, I think. Right, it was last year. And basically, she was at the park with her son, and a little, Somali, invader tried to, and this kid, the Somali kid was, 5 or something, tried to reach into Shiloh's, diaper bag and steal something, which, and she picked up her son and pointed at the kid and said, get away from my son, and then, the kid's father came in, another Somali invader, and said, you called my son the N-word, and it's on video. I won't play it here, but, I wish I could play it and say it, but I can't because it's YouTube. But you've probably seen these pictures. She's holding her son. She says, "Get that little, N away from me." And that was that. The father of the Somali father recorded it, released it. The video got out, blew up. Everyone commented, "Oh my gosh, she's racist. Oh my God, this is unacceptable." Blah blah. It caused a whole catastrophe. And in the fallout, basically, she raised, I think it was $700,000. That's what it was last time I checked. I also read it could be $9,000 now. It's been a while since I checked it, but she raised a lot of money for people defending her and helping her out. But on the flip side, which is also just so disheartening, is the Somali father raised $340,000 of himself. So this dude got called a bad name, and he raised almost $500,000. Where's my? I've been called bad name. Where's my $500,000? Where's your $500,000? We deserve it too. So here it says, help us seek justice for a 5-year-old facing racial hate. So the NAACP, which, if you look into him, you know that black people do not run that organization. Our children are sacred, which was a picture of Shiloh. So yeah, so this dude raised, like I said, almost $500,000 because he got called a bad name. I'll just jump into this real quick. So this is part of the dangerous precedent, this whole situation is. But this dude gets called a name and says, goes on the internet and cries about it, and he raises a lot of money. That's part of the dangerous precedent. Since he's done this, more people are going to try this. Every little thing. And it's only black people. Well, it's black people and the others who run this organization. Let's just say, I don't want to say their names, but you know what I'm talking about. Whenever these two groups are offended, they always play the victim. Just think about that. You are so sensitive. You get called a bad word. Now, people would argue, but it's the bad word for black people. So that doesn't mean you could, come in and bitch and, raise $500,000 almost, which granted, it's a free country, do what you want, but just the entitlement. I don't like what you said. Give me money. And frankly, add insult to injury. This is not even an American. This is a foreigner who did this. A foreign invader got almost $500,000 because someone called him a bad name, which, granted, this is Minnesota, so I'm surprised more people haven't called these people that word. If you know anything about that city or state, which that city, just don't go to Minnesota. Just don't. Where to start? So, I already told you, the rundown of the trial. I guess let's just run down some interesting things that were said. So people all of a sudden, like when the video first came out, people were like, oh my god, this is destruction. This is like so bad. Oh my god, racism. But on the actual trial, so there's an account of Tom Hennessy. I think that's how you pronounce it. Sorry if I mispronounced it. But these were days ago. Like I said, here's July 21st. I'm a few days late, but still gonna talk about it. So this was a day 2 of the trial. The state's first witness, the father of the child, which I also read somewhere that the dude is not the father of the kid. So the kid that tried to steal and the man who came in and started recording Shiloh are not related. I think they are, because everywhere else I said their father and son, which I also read other places where they're not. So I don't know officially. I'm just gonna assume they're like father and son. That's whatever like the main accounts were saying. So I'll just go with that. Excuse me. The state's first witness, father of the child, testified that the child was actually 9 years old at the time of the incident, not 5 and not 8. He further testified that he wears a police-issued ankle monitor because the child runs off 2 to 3 times per day and must be held by the hand at all times. I reread this before this video, but let's reread that again. He further testified that he wears a police-issued ankle monitor because the child runs off 2 to 3 times per day and must be held by the hand at all times. So, based on that wording, it sounds like the father is telling the court that the Somali child wears a police-issued ankle monitor. A child. Damn, I guess they start young in that community. Oh, man. So that was one thing that was, like, kind of damning that I read. I was like, what? You can't live with these people. Just, no. Let's see, what else? This was also kind of funny. So this kind of goes into the whole fact that the whole trial, the whole situation that the whole fact that she was on trial in the first place is just disheartening. It shows that this country's kind of screwed. I'm sorry, I try to be pro-America, pro positivity, but stuff like this, the fact that a white woman was put on trial, both legally and culturally, let's just be honest, she was put on trial, her persona, I guess, her image was destroyed and everything. So it's not just he saw a bad name. There's a bigger play with race and politics and all that at play, which it's so disheartening. Anyway, so the state continues questioning of the first witness, the father. Here we go. So 2 interpreters were required, rotating every 30 minutes. So keep that in mind. I'm going to skip a few slides. Where is it? So 2 interpreters. They had to get 2 translators because he can't speak English. And if you skip ahead a little bit, this is the next day. After asking the same question 4 different ways with the help of translators, the father admitted under oath that proportions of his testimony from yesterday do not match his interview with investigators last year. So this dude had 2 translators and was asked the same question, different ways for you to understand 4 different times, and he still couldn't understand the question. These are the people liberals want to bring into the country and think they can assimilate. They're good people. 4 different ways, and this dude was too stupid. I don't get it. Which I think where's a picture of him? I'll throw up on screen. Yeah, this is the father. Yep, that dude definitely didn't understand, and you can tell the low IQ-ness in his face. Oh man, just. Imagine trying to explain that to people. Oh yeah, they got this guy. He's filing a lawsuit. Okay. Yeah, we need 2 translators, and we ask him questions. So he still can't understand the question, which, these 4 different ways, they dumbed it down beyond dumbed down, and this dude probably still didn't understand. which I think isn't the average IQ of Somalia like, wasn't like 65 or something? Like it's there is basically no IQ in that country. Let's just go back to that trial. So, was asked 4 different ways. Yesterday, the father claimed Shiloh ran after the boy not only to retrieve what was taken from her, but also because he believed she intended to strike, fight, or rumble, air quotes, with his son. Shiloh's attorney pointed out that his original statement to the investigators made no mention of that. The father was also asked multiple times whether he or his family had any involvement in a fundraiser. He'd answer no each time. Okay, that was after this. Here we go. I've already read this, but I'm kind of like pointing out like the main thoughts for you guys. The testimony regarding fundraisers was especially bizarre. Jamal, that's the Somali invader, father, stated at least 3 or 4 times that he had not been involved in any fundraiser for himself or his family. When confronted with evidence showing otherwise, he initially refused to review it to refresh his memory. Moments later, he suddenly admitted to working with the NAACP to raise money for his family, and even knew the exact amount that was received. He then claimed he had full control of the funds with no conditions, insisting the NAACP set up no trust, and that all that money was deposited directly into his personal account without any stipulations. These are a few examples. Additionally, the father said his son was 9 years old at the time of the incident. After the child's birthday was clarified on record, he was corrected. The boy was actually 8 years old at the time and is currently 10, so he didn't know the age of his own son. So that could explain maybe they're not actually father and son. Because, I mean, I understand they're low IQ, but you don't know your son's age? In court, of all places? Like, the state now rested its case. The defense called a few witnesses. Yeah, okay, that's basically that. But a little bit more. This is part of like the day before. The trial was short. It was only like a week or so. It was very short. The defense called... Okay, the defense called a Rochester police detective who interviewed the father 10 to 11 days after the incident. The detective confirmed the father never once claimed he feared Shiloh would hit his son. In fact, he never mentioned any fear of Shiloh doing anything during that entire interview. Okay. Prosecutors tried to sell this as a simple open and shut case, claiming Hendrix's words were fighting words, which... Oh, God. Don't hang around liberals. And her conduct disorderly. They insisted about the evidence, not emotion, while Simon shamelessly leaning on the boy's alleged autism for sympathy. Oh, this little invader has autism. Yeah, there's basically that. That's kind of about the trial. So, throughout all this, she was charged. Where is it? Here we go. So the Shiloh verdict, so disorderly conduct. So one disorderly conduct count towards the child, not guilty, and then disorderly conduct towards the father, the videographer, guilty. So she was basically tried with basically being mean to the father. That's what she got charged with. And her sentencing, I read she was like sentenced to like 90 days in prison, or like jail. That's not true, which I'm kind of glad I waited. So basically, she's ordered to pay a $1,000 fine and was placed on a probation in order to complete community service, which I think it was 200 hours. So a $1,000 fine and 200 hours of community service. That's what she got, which, yes, that's, not bad, I guess, but I mean, she raised what? Yeah, so her campaign, it says right here, this is where I got the $900,000 from this article. So she raised almost $1 million, so $1,000 is nothing to her. But the whole fact that this trial blew up or this became an issue is just simply fucking ridiculous. We don't have to live like this. And even gets worse when you realize that the father, so the Somali dude, here, the man Shiloh Hendrix called the N-word and his brother SA'd an underage girl and had their charges dismissed in the interest of justice a few years ago. So this dude, the father, and his brother SA'd a minor, I think it was a 16-year-old, another article said, and was let go. If that doesn't show you this weird two-tier justice system we're in, it's just, I don't know what will. Which also, something very funny here. This is the judge. This is the judge who fined Shiloh, who proceeded over the case. I'm looking pretty chopped there, bitch. There's another picture of her coming up too, but basically this is funny. So in 2023, Judge Krista Daly, that's Shiloh's judge, gave Thomas Meyer, who confessed to having thousands of S abuse images of young children and up to 100 hours of community service and a class on why CP, child, you can read it on the screen, I'm not going to say it because of YouTube, is bad. She gave Shiloh Hendrix 200 hours and a $1,000 fine. Which, also, this other image, if you compare her and Shiloh, I also think we know why Shiloh got tried. Now, people would say, "Oh, you're thinking too much into it. You're obsessed with looks." I mean, look at this. You have this judge, this high society. I'm a judge, and a pretty blonde woman with big breasts come in, the typical beauty standard, and then there's you on the right. I mean. You show this picture, this comparison right here, you show this picture to anybody on earth. It could be any religion, any culture, doesn't matter. You show this picture and say, hey, which one do you like? They're going to pick on the right. They're going to pick Shiloh. Anybody, unless they're blind, anybody's going to pick the one on the right. Any day. Oh my God. We don't hate liberal white women enough. Just beyond a plague of civilization. Just... Which that's another, I can talk about that, go on forever, but I'm not. But basically, this video is going way longer than I anticipated, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, guys, that's kind of what I want to discuss. This whole trial is just, it's bad. Like the fact that she got tried to begin with is sad, but also, like I said, it sets a dangerous precedent. Like, if this, which other people are going to try this, because this happened, she got fined, she got publicly humiliated, other people of color, whether it be foreigner, whether it be citizens or invaders, are going to try this. They're going to see this and be like, oh, well, she got away with it, I'm going to get away with it, That Somali guy, he got, almost over $250,000, and he got, let go. Oh, I want that. Like, I'm going to try that. I'm going to have, white people try to call me a word, and it's going to create a whole just cluster of problems, which it all boils down to, maybe not the main point, but a big point is race. It's the elephant in the room nobody wants to talk about, but race is a huge component of the story, and it will be going forward. And I guess that's where I'll end this video on. So obviously, first comment below and tell me your thoughts, but if we don't solve this, racism, we don't have this conversation now, it's gonna get way worse, and it will be unstoppable. You could argue it's borderline unstoppable now, but if this whole race, everything's about race, and reparations, all of that, if this continues to go on, it's gonna be bad for both sides, and the outcome will not be pretty.